a molecular biologist and I'm a cancer biologist, but this has to be put on hold. I have a family, this has to be put on hold. Sanaa has to quit her job, I have to quit my job, and even Alaa can't be a father. Alaa has a son, Khaled, who has turned 10 years old, spent most of his time away from Alaa. And a few months Alaa was out, Khaled was transformed. He was so happy to have his father back, and he kind of fell into a routine, and so he was extra shattered when Alaa was taken again.
Sanaa and Sanaa Seif are the younger sisters of Egyptian-British pro-democracy activist Alaa Abdel Fattah. Alaa is the most high-profile political prisoner in Egypt, if not the whole Arab world. He has been unjustly jailed by the Egyptian regime for much of the past 10 years, since rising to prominence during the 2011 revolution. On April 2nd, Alaa launched a partial hunger strike from his Egyptian prison cells. For most of the time since, he has been consuming only water and teaspoons of honey and milk for sustenance. As world leaders traveled to Egypt for the COP27 climate summit, Alaa decided to escalate his protests even further. On November 6th, first day of the summit, he stopped eating and drinking altogether, putting his life in critical danger. In London, his sisters relentlessly campaigned to secure his freedom and pushed the UK government to negotiate with Egypt for his release. While the focus in Westminster was on another change in leadership, Sanaa decided to start a sit-in in front of the Foreign Office on October 18th, day 200 of her brother's hunger strike. During the 2-week sit-in, events were organised to support the campaign to free Alaa, from drawing sessions and reading groups to protests organised by Amnesty and Greenpeace. This sit-in was part of Sanaa and her family's last-ditch effort to have Alaa freed. They fear that if the UK government fails to secure his release, Alaa might die this week.
In an ideal world, I would hope that the delegation going would bring Alaa back with him on the same plane. And it's not very naive to think it's possible. I know it's possible. It has happened before. There is precedent. Like it happened with the French and with the Americans. They managed to get their citizens back who were also political prisoners in Egypt. And Britain has managed to do it with Iran, with Nazanin, and Egypt is an ally, unlike Iran, and so it should be easier if there was political will.
If Alaa dies in prison, and this is not a far-fetched scenario, this can actually happen. While this is going to be, a huge thing for us as a family, but also for the diplomatic relationships between Egypt and Britain, this is going to be a disaster. And as a precedent for all, British citizens who are visiting Egypt, whether on jobs or on tourism or anything, this is going to be critically dangerous.
Critics of the Egyptian regime say it is using COP27 to gloss over its human rights abuses, a tactic known as greenwashing. While presenting itself as a space for climate science innovation and a nest for new ideas, Egypt holds tens of thousands of freethinkers, including Alaa, behind bars.
But also we have to remember that Egypt is a nation which violates many of the basic human rights, and they have political prisoners, etc.
For Sanaa and Sanaa, COP27 is an opportunity to draw attention, not only to Alaa's plight, but that of Egyptians trying to tackle the climate emergency while living under Sisi's reign of repression.
The Egyptian regime is using this event to whitewash, greenwash their human rights record, and they claim that there will be space for civil society to express, and so far they've been giving a hard time for Egyptian civil society to even get that accreditation. So I got accreditation from a European organization. So I want to use that space they claim. I want to challenge them on that, and also to be a reminder for the British delegation going that you have a citizen, and they need to be speaking about that citizen.
Part of why I think it is important to engage with COP27 is that for the groups working on environmental issues, if they are serious about climate justice, the people to talk to in Egypt are not Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, are not his government. They have proven over the years that they don't care about the government, the environment, they don't care about engaging with people, they don't care about civil society, they don't care about conserving nature or heritage. They don't care. Their major achievement is that they built the biggest number of prisons and bridges over the past couple of years. So if they are serious about engaging with the South on climate issues, then the real people who they should be engaging with are those in prison. We have a lot of people, not just Alaa. So Alaa was interested in climate issues, but we have also a lot of people who have been working in economics and in climate issues. We have solar energy engineers in prison.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of people who would have made sense to have their input in COP27.
But for it to be a revolution, you have to have a narrative that brings all the different forms of resistance together, and you have to have hope. You know, you have to be. It has to be that people are mobilizing not out of desperation, but out of a clear sense that something other than this life of despair is possible. And that's right now a tough one. So that's why right now I talk about defeat. I talk about defeat because I cannot even express hope anymore, but hopefully that's temporary.